You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for joining me here again today on our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday, where the topic today is going to be making those healthy food swaps, taking out some of the more harmful products that dysregulate our blood sugar and our overall health that can lead to weight gain and dis-ease, and replace those with things that actually give life, that make us healthier, and that create that leanness that we're looking for with our bodies and overall health. So I'm really want to go through today breakfast, snacks, lunch, dinner, after dinner, and take some of the most common foods people are eating and swap those out for a much healthier variety. Looking forward to doing that today. This was by popular request, so I hope that it is helpful. And I also want this to be interactive. So on Instagram or our Facebook group, do feel free to leave your suggestions as well. I would love that. At Instagram, it's just my name, Stephen Cabral. That's Stephen with a PH. And on Facebook, you can certainly go to Dr. Stephen Cabral, Dr. Stephen Cabral, or at cabralsupportgroup.com. That's our private community. Right now, as of today's podcast, let's give you today's podcast. The number is stephencabral.com/1321. We will add those little healthy swaps right over there. So if you're tuning in today, you'll be able to see all of those on the show notes. And then again, over on Facebook, cabralsupportgroup.com. As of today, there are almost 7,000 members from all over the world. So feel free to connect. Check that out. It's an amazing community. Okay, so I think that you've probably seen this before, that what we want to do is take a food that may not be so healthy, but you know what? It's fast, it's easy, and it's convenient. And I get that. I mean, a lot of us make those decisions, meaning, okay, we're trying to get something ready for the kids, ourselves, we're out to eat, you may be stressed, and you just lack time. And so you're just looking for something easy, you're hungry. Well, what I want to do is this. I want to stock those cabinets at home with healthier foods and also make this really mindless, make it simple. I mean, this is something that my wife and I do for our kids, for ourselves, just to make life easy. I mean, too much of the time, we're always looking for these gourmet meals and like 12 different ingredients. We really try to keep it simple. I mean, my own life, I'm pretty much eating the same thing for breakfast and lunch every single day. Dinner switches out every single night, but breakfast and lunch is pretty much the same. I'll go into that in a future podcast, but one of the reasons why that's nice is that my body always knows what's coming. It's very easy. Now, those meals do have a variety within them, meaning in the morning I'm getting a couple different fruit sometimes, different veggies for sure. I'm using my daily nutritional support. I'll go into that in just a minute. But with lunch, I get a Buddha bowl, and it's one of the things I'm going to share with you. And there's probably 8 different ingredients, but I don't make it. That's the nice thing. I pick that up every day. It's fresh, it's healthy, it's organic. And you know what? For under $10, it's a great deal. So let me take you through that as well. Just honestly show you how easy eating healthy can be. So I want to start with breakfast right away. Hopefully when you wake up, you are having your water in the morning. You're either adding your scoop of the daily fruit and vegetable blend, or you're adding your water, you're a little bit of a pinch of sea salt and maybe Manuka honey, or you're just doing some lime and sea salt. But after you hydrate that body, you want to then begin your day. And for those people that are choosing to have breakfast, whether it's an hour after waking or so, or a couple hours after waking, what we want to do is start to look at the things that are higher glycemic and more processed. And we want to remove those from the diet. Not only are they going to spike blood sugar, but they can lead to, of course, the weight gain. They can lead to inflammation, and they can also lead to those crashes later in the morning. This goes for both children and adults. Remember, just because you look at this child and you say, oh, well, they're supposed to eat kids' foods, that's not true. There isn't a kids' food per se, meaning kids aren't meant to eat sweets and all these things, just like adults aren't, especially since it begins to change their taste buds and it's what they get used to. And we also want them to stay focused at school, and we don't want those crashes that then look like an ADD, ADHD, or misbehaved child when really you have a child that's dysregulated in blood sugar. So what I want to do is I want to look at the cereals that most people are feeding their kids, even if they are gluten-free, because a lot of those, I always give this test right here. So begin to look at any of the cereals that you're eating or maybe processed foods. And if you could take it in your hand and rub it together and it turns to basically dust, think about how easy and fast that's going to get right into that bloodstream. There's a really good chance that that's going to spike your blood sugar. So even if it's gluten-free oat-based cereal that's very processed, meaning that it's like just flaky, that'll probably be broken down far too fast. So what I like to do is if you're going to do a gluten-free based cereal, okay, well, at least you're moving gluten-free, you're getting away from the gluten. Great, but let's do oatmeal. Let's just take it one step further because those oats are not high glycemic. So that's where a lot of confusion comes around because oats actually help with blood sugar regulation. And oats help with healthy cholesterol. They help with healthy blood pressure. And they're great for overall satiation. So they're going to keep you full through the morning. Now, some people on our weight loss based plan or maybe the beginning for our CBO protocol won't be using those. But they will potentially eventually. That's a possibility. And what I want to give you today are possibilities. So oatmeal can be a really great one. Just look for gluten-free oats. Ideally, if it could be mold tested, that would be great as well. And organic is preferential. I've given you my kind of favorites before on which type of oats to choose on my Friday reviews. So that's simple. That's easy. You could add some fresh blueberries on top, blackberries, raspberries, whatever you like to the top of your oatmeal. Maybe even put in 1 teaspoon of maple syrup because that's less than 5 grams of sugar. So people get very worried about sugar with good reason, but you have to understand is that when we take it from natural sources and we blend that, meaning like it's mixed with protein, it's mixed with fats, and it's mixed with a lot of fiber, you slow the digestion of glucose. Like that's the nice thing about it. Plus, what I recommend is with that oatmeal is a smoothie. So I'm going to get to that in just 1 second, but I wanted to give you one more substitute for cereal. One of those, if you want to go a little lower carbohydrate, one of my favorites is a chia seed pudding. For those people that have never heard of chia seed pudding, it's super easy and simple. Remember, to make oatmeal, all you do is boil water and put in some oats, right? It doesn't get much easier than that. You can start boiling the water while you're brushing your teeth or getting ready. You can make it really easy. And if you don't eat your breakfast right away in the morning, totally fine. You can do what I do, which is put it in one of those warm thermos containers to keep it warm for when you do decide to eat it. Or you can eat it cold. And you can look at my podcast on oatmeal and you can see how cold oatmeal, or at least cool, has a lot more resistant starch, which can be great for the gut, great for the body overall. All right, but let's move back to that chia seed pudding. So chia seed pudding is something we make a lot of time for our daughters for a mid-morning snack at school. It's really simple to make. You are literally just going to buy a bag of chia seeds. Typically, the black chia seeds, well, the white chia seeds are totally fine as well. The black ones just seem to be a lot more popular. Now, here's the nice thing. I'm going to give you the exact recipe that we'll use. We use 2 tablespoons of chia seeds in a mason jar. Okay, we do a small mason jar for our daughters, and we mix those 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with a half a cup of nut milk. And for our daughters, we'll use macadamia nut milk, we'll use hemp milk, you can use almond milk, coconut milk, any type of nut milk that you prefer, whatever works for you. Since our daughters are at a nut-free school, we typically use hemp milk. So again, super easy. What do? We put in the chia seeds, we put in the hemp milk, we put a lid on that mason jar. It's a small mason jar that you might get from like a jam or something like that. You shake it up, and then you can just put it in your refrigerator overnight. Now, when you wake up the next morning, you will have a thick pudding. Now, if it's a little looser, well, you can use a little less milk the next time or a little bit more chia seeds, okay? Super easy to do. Then the next morning, what my wife does is she tops it with pomegranate seeds, which is something that my daughters love. They're high in fiber. They taste delicious. And maybe she'll drizzle a little bit of Manuka honey over that. Simple. Our girls love it. And it's a really healthy snack. Now, it contains 11 grams of fiber. 11 grams of fiber just in those 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. It has about 5 grams of protein. Fantastic. And it has 9 grams of fat, healthy fat, coming from the chia seeds with your omega-3s, 6s, and 9s from a good quality source. So this is really, really easy. It's absolutely fun to do for your kids and yourself too. You could bring this to work. You can make a larger one, and that could be your lunch if you wanted to. So there's a lot that you can do with it, but it makes a really healthy breakfast as well, and it's much lower carbohydrate if you're going for a lower carb breakfast. All right, my second substitute, second healthy substitute, is going to be switching out that high glycemic fruit juice in the morning for a daily smoothie. Now, why would a smoothie, which you can add berries and fruit to it, be lower glycemic than a glass of juice? Well, first of all, juice is simply pressed fruit, and you're not getting any of the fiber with it. Plus, what a lot of companies don't tell you is that all of that fruit has been oxidized. So they juice, let's just say apples. Apples or oranges is a very popular wake-up juice to have. But when you look at a full glass of juice, you're looking at about 30 grams of carbs and 30 grams or 27 grams of sugar. That is not what you want to put in your body first thing in the morning. It's going to spike that blood sugar. You might feel great for a half hour, and then you're going to start to crash again. You reach for that coffee. It is not the way that you want to start your day. So what we recommend is you're going to wake up, you'll do your hydration, which will be your water, lime, sea salt if you'd like. Put some of that daily fruit and vegetable blend in there, 22 organic fruits and vegetables without the sugar. Really, really nice way to start your day with all sorts of superfoods. And then an hour, 2 hours so later, let's make that smoothie, okay? Mine's typically 1 hour later. Then I take it to work. And I also then give this to my daughters as well. So when we make the smoothie, what we do is we put in the berries there, right? But the berries go in and they're not juiced. They're blended. I always say, if you want, blend your fruit and juice your veggies. Never juice your fruit. That's not what we're looking to do, right? Because we just get the sugar out of it. What we want to do is blend our fruit if we choose to, and that will give us all of the fiber intact for the most part, meaning I know that you're blending it, but all that fiber still stays in your smoothie. So it's really nice. Plus, if you add the daily nutritional support or your favorite protein, you actually slow down the glycemic response that much more. Then, if you add a healthy fat, such as chia seeds or flax seeds or psyllium or whatever you choose, I mean, like literally sky's the limit. Our daily nutritional support already comes with the flax and the flax and the psyllium already in there. You're going to slow that with more fiber, and then the healthy fat could be from something like coconut cream, flaxseed oil, whatever you choose to, if you want, okay? So that's a really nice substitute as well. And now you get all of the power and antioxidants and potential cancer prevention from your brightly colored veggies and or fruits in that smoothie rather than just the higher glycemic fruit juice. Okay, next up is lunch. What is the typical lunch for most people, most kids? It's a sandwich, right? Why? Because it's super easy. What do? Well, you go to your grocery food store, you get some peanut butter and jelly, or you get some processed meat, and you put it between 2 slices of bread, and there you go. Easy lunch, take it to work, or you can buy it pretty inexpensively when you're out to lunch. The problem is you get the bread that's higher glycemic, not a lot of nutritional value, and then what do you put between it? Well, you put processed meat between it, sometimes and oftentimes with a lot of preservatives in that. And deli meat, for the most part, is pretty toxic to the body. That's the truth behind that. So sandwiches, although very, very convenient, not the best thing. Now, if you were to make a healthier sandwich, what could you do? Well, you could use a wrap. You could use an oat bread without the yeast, without the gluten. You could absolutely do that. And then you could put some almond butter and you could put some wild blueberry jam. Like that would be, okay, that's a much better choice. But let's say, what can we make for an even better choice than that? With maybe a little bit more protein and a little bit more fiber, all of those great things. Well, so I know you've heard this before. This isn't going to be, a mind buster for you. But if you made the switch, honestly, not for your kids, we won't say that, but let's say you made the switch for you from a sandwich to a salad, and you did that for 3 weeks, I'm telling you right now, your skin would look better, You'd feel leaner. You'd be less inflamed. I mean, it would be an absolute game changer. And don't think about a boring salad. Think about a salad that you get with lots of veggies on top, with the protein of your choice, with olive oil for a dressing, maybe a little bit of sea salt on there. You can make it delicious. I mean, there's so many places around most cities and towns now. You have what? You have Sweet Greens, Tender Greens, Life Alive. I mean, there's so many different places around you. You can go to a local Whole Foods or Sprouts or Erewhon, and you can go in there and you can say, okay, I'm going to make a salad for less than $10. And I know that it's a little bit more expensive, but remember, if you're not eating 5 times during the day, if you cut it down to those and go back to my podcast, Why 3 Meals Per Day, you'll see that you can make this pretty inexpensive. I mean, a smoothie for breakfast is like $3. And then lunch, you can get a salad if you're on the go, or make your own. I mean, you can buy cucumbers and tomatoes and all these great things. You can buy a bag of salad, like however you want to do of salad, super easy. And then you can add on top the protein of your choice. You can add on hemp hearts, which is something that I typically do. Really, really easy. It's inexpensive. You can buy a bag of them and add 3 tablespoons at lunch. They taste great. They have a nutty flavor to them, nice texture. So you can do these things and you can make it more interesting. Add a half an avocado, chop it up, dice it in there. You've got this delicious salad with a lot of different flavors, a lot of different textures that you can look forward to. And it's so much healthier. I mean, like, it's not even close to what you'd be getting when you eat a sandwich or pizza. So that's the biggest substitute. Another thing that I do personally, more so during the colder months, I like salads a lot of the time during the cooler months, but during the warmer months, I move more towards what's called a Buddha bowl. Now, a lot of people have heard me talk about Buddha bowls before, but you can simply get brown rice or brown rice and quinoa, or you could do chopped up sweet potato. Any of those work. Totally fine. Again, if you're trying to do less carbs, you can keep the salad going. And if you don't mind a little bit extra carbs at lunch, you could do the brown rice, which I will typically do. And then with that, a Buddha bowl is basically, instead of lettuce, you're adding brown rice. I mean, that's the truth, right? And then on top would be the same veggies a lot of time that you would put in a salad. So I have diced up carrots. I have diced up beets. I've got sprouts on top. I've got maybe a little bit of yuca or sweet potato. And then I add on top the hemp hearts right there. So they don't have them where I go. But what I do is I just add my hemp hearts in my office, and you can do your own dressing if you'd like. And I just use olive oil. So pretty simple. I mean, in my office, in a drawer, I have all the things that I like that make it the exact thing that I want. Now, is it a little bit more effort to keep the olive oil that I want here, which is the extra virgin, the first pressed, the organic? Sure, just a little bit more. All I do is when I go grocery food shopping, I buy one of those every 3 weeks or 4 weeks. That's how long it lasts. I have a bag of hemp hearts, and then I have my favorite hot sauce. So that's what I do to make it a delicious lunch. And that's what I have. And then I add it on there. I look forward to it, and I really enjoy that. So that's a super healthy switch. Now, can you make this at home? Of course you can. What is it? Well, it's literally brown rice that you make with boiling water and add rice. And then you just take your veggies out. You could pre-dice them the night before, add them on top, and there you go. You have your own little Buddha bowl that next day. So super simple, game changer in terms of health. And remember, the healthier you get your body, the better natural weight you'll be at. And if you're healthy, and if you're at a natural weight for you, well, most likely 9 times out of 10, that aging process is going to go really well. Okay, so that is our lunch-based choices. Now, snacks. This is where it starts to get interesting. Mid-afternoon, you're a little cranky, you're a little tired, you wish the day was over, your kids just got home, it's, bananas, and you say, okay, I need something to eat, or I need a coffee or something. So let's go through those 2 right now. So for me, what I say is, always for me, I'm going to say this. I try to fast through mid-afternoon. There's a couple times that I won't. One is if it's going to be a long time till dinner. Like if I have a work dinner out or we have a late dinner, like for example, on Tuesday nights, I take the girls to soccer. And then after that, we're not going to have dinner till later. That's just the way that it works because it's a later night. So mid-afternoon, about 4 hours after my lunch, I will have something. And no, it won't be a cookie or a muffin, although I would love that. People think like, oh, that's easy for you because you don't like to eat unhealthy foods. I don't know whoever came up with that because I grew up for sure eating all sorts of different things, and that's still on my taste buds. That's still on my mind. And most people, when they taste sweet, like sweet. Now, some people don't. For whatever reason, they just don't enjoy it as much. My wife's not a sweet type person. I am, for sure that I am. My oldest daughter, not as much of a sweets type person. My youngest daughter absolutely is. So my youngest daughter and I, we would be sweets all day if we allowed it, but we don't, So that's the thing. I like cookies like the next person. I mean, I really do. And I will eat them once a week, maybe as a cheat, but it's not going to be daily, even though my mind would love to grab for those cookies and my body would too. But I don't do it simply because it's not the best, healthiest choice. And as an adult, I get to make that choice. And I choose energy and well-being over the temporary taste because I would eat that cookie in less than 30 seconds. That is me. I would literally devour that cookie no matter how big it is in a minute. And yes, I might practice some mindfulness while eating that cookie, but no matter what, that cookie is going to be gone. And after that, I'll be like, I really shouldn't have eaten that cookie. That's the truth. So I put that off. I extend that and I will have that maybe once a week. All right. So here's the thing though. No one here on this podcast, unless you're part of our Facebook group, has known that for the past year and a half, we have been developing a whole food snack bar. So I'm super excited to debut that. I believe it's next week. Don't quote me on that, but stay tuned because that's going to be soon. I'm going to give you exactly what's in that bar because I always give you the choices. What I try to do is live by example, create a company by example, and you never have to go with what we do, but I want you to try to copy it or mimic it or, use it in your life because I know that it works. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I just want to share with you tips that have worked for me. Just like when I go to my coaches for whatever it might be, like martial arts, or it might be podcasting, or it might be creating videos, like whatever it is, I'll go to them and say like, hey, what are the best practices? And I just try to share that with you. Just simply, this is the life that I live. So our bars come out next week, and a bar can be a healthy substitute if it's a whole food, healthy bar that contains a good amount of fiber, a good amount of protein, a good amount of fat to keep you satiated. You don't want straight carbs, but you want a little bit of everything. So the bars that we have debuting next week, I couldn't be more excited. We've already been giving these to my girls. They eat them all the time. And because kids do well with mid-morning and mid-afternoon snacks. Adults, less so, but if you go more time between dinner or if you have a workout, that's another. If I have a hard workout, then I might have a bar before that. So what are our bars? Well, they're going to come in a chocolate brownie. They will come in a sunny dates. They come in a cinnamon apple. And they come in an earthy base flavor, which is our lemon ginger that people, surprisingly, when we did our focus groups, absolutely love, which has turmeric in it, ginger, lemon, some black pepper for absorption of that turmeric as well. Really, really great. They're absolutely amazing, and they're all whole food. They're also the most rigorously tested bars on the planet, and you'll actually see that right on the wrapper. I mean, good luck trying to find another company that's willing to do this. But here's the thing. They're going to be eaten by my kids. For sure, a lot of other kids at our school are going to have them. They are school-safe bars for the most part. You have to check with your school. But they can be absolutely fantastic. And again, what do they contain? Well, they contain chia seeds. They contain a lot of the natural-based things that we want in there as well, which if you're going to use a sweetener, dates and maple syrup would be a few of those. So those are just a few. A lot of people use cashews or nuts in the bar. We didn't do that to make them a little bit more school-safe. But you can absolutely do that if you're not doing them for school. You can look for natural sweeteners, which would be dates or maple syrup or a raw honey. You don't want the agave. You don't want as much of the other syrups as well. All right, so that can be a substitute to cookies that you might typically be eating. And then also, like if you're reaching for another pot of coffee, I was about to say, but let's say cup of coffee, I would go more for that matcha tea, the green matcha, or ideally, get yourself a nice tall glass of water, have some pre-cut up carrots and celery, dip them in some guacamole or some hummus or some white bean dip. And if you're on our CBO protocol, you can still do the white bean dip, don't have it with the garlic, and you can still do smashed up avocado and have that as a nice dip mid-afternoon. That can be really satiating with a nice tall glass of water because remember, a few hours after lunch, you should be getting that water back in you. Check out my previous podcast that I did on when to drink water during the day. Let's see if I can find that for you. Wow, time flies. That was already, let's see what that is. The exact times to drink water during the day, episode 1300. Check that out if you didn't check out that show before. Okay, moving on to dinner. Now, super simple one, recommended this in the past, but if you are typically doing takeout, I want you to look into home meal delivery. What they do is they give you everything you need to cook a fresh meal. It's typically done in under 30 minutes. I don't have an allegiance to any home meal delivery company. And again, today is episode, let's see, 1320. 1321. StephenCabral.com/1321. If you're listening to this a year from now, the information still pertains. But one company that we use now that maybe will be here a year from now, maybe won't. And also, there'll be others as well. But the one right now that we've been referring a lot to is called Sunbasket. And Sunbasket delivers vegan or paleo clean meals. And you can choose organic or wild-caught fish. And they deliver them all around the U.S. I'm sure in Australia and Europe, there are meal delivery services as well. Super clean, gives you everything you need. You pop it right in your oven. It's done in basically 30 minutes with no real prep. Or here's an easy thing you can do. A lot of people making meals very complicated. For the most part, 4 out of 5 nights, here's what we do. We just keep it super simple. We will take some sliced sweet potato so they cook faster, right? We'll just slice up some sweet potato. We'll put them in the oven. Also in the oven at the same time will be some wild salmon or some wild cod, whatever it might be, okay? We'll add in some sliced rainbow carrots and parsnips. We'll put it all in the oven at the same time. We'll cook that for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever it may need. And then afterwards, we take it out and we drizzle that whole meal with extra virgin organic first pressed olive oil. Then we add some cracked Himalayan pink salt to it. And then we serve it. That's it. It's super easy. It doesn't have to be really complicated. Now, you get some great complex carbs with your sweet potatoes or your Japanese yams, which a lot of times I like to do, or Japanese purple potatoes. Then you do your wild salmon, or if we're doing a vegan-based meal, we do hemp hearts, or we might do some black bean soup. Anything like that is great. And then you have some veggies, and we'll do some rainbow carrots for some more anthocyanins and different colored-based veggies. And then parsnips often are great too during the fall and winter. Olive oil is our healthy fat, but we could also do a diced up avocado or smashed avocado as well. And then some Himalayan sea salt for some great taste to all of this so it's not quite as bland. It makes a great meal. It's super simple. There's really no prep. What is that prep? 5 minutes? Pop it in the oven. 40 minutes later, you're having dinner and it's delicious dinner. It's super healthy. People are going to be super impressed. All right. So that's an easy one to do. We have 2 more to go. Number 9 is this. After dinner, this is where it can start to get dicey. Now, you know that my favorite thing to do after dinner that I recommend for you if you're trying to lose weight and stay healthy and get into that longer fast, simply do this. Clean up dinner, head to the bathroom, brush your teeth, and then you're going to fast the rest of the night. Now, you might say, but I can't do that. Okay, if you can't do that, I get it. I understand. That's okay. So what I want you to do is this. If you're used to having ice cream after dinner or popcorn or some type of dessert on the couch, I want you to get your favorites, and it can be expensive, dark chocolate. Now, I don't want you to eat that whole $5 bar of dark chocolate all in one night, and neither do you, right? Sometimes they're like $8. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to take 2 squares out, put the rest away. Don't sit on the couch with a whole bar of dark chocolate. You will eat the whole thing. It's not that difficult. I've done it before. Okay, so what I want you to do is just take 2 nice slices off. Now, you're going to break them individually. Don't put them both in your mouth at the same time. That's easy to do as well. So you're going to break one off, and you're going to chew it up at least 30 to 60 times, and think about the flavor. Savor the flavor. Now, you'll have the other slice, and you will be done for the night. That is your little dessert. That's your little treat, okay? Look for 80% plus dark chocolate. Don't look for all the not artificial sweeteners, but you don't want all the liqueur in there. You don't want dairy in there. You want this as a clean, great dark chocolate. I'll make more recommendations for dark chocolate in the future. Okay, now, what else you could do is this. I recommend once you've kind of broken the more eating after dinner, is move on to herbal tea. Just make yourself, clean up after dinner, get the kids to bed, or, send that last email, whatever you need to do. And then sit down by yourself, with your partner, whoever you want. Just relax for those couple hours before bed. Turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. Put on some blue blocking glasses. Relax the body, right? Time to relax, turn off, and begin to renew. Now, at this time, make yourself some chamomile tea, ginger tea, peppermint tea. Whatever type of tea that you're into, great. Or you can make yourself some golden milk, and you can check out my previous episodes on how to make golden milk. I will give you some more refreshers on that as well. But golden milk can literally be as simple as some heated coconut milk, some heated cashew milk, whatever you'd like to do, and then add in some turmeric, maybe a touch of ghee, or maybe a little bit of touch of raw honey. However you want to make your golden milk is good, a little black pepper in there. and that'll be your nice warm drink for the evening. That's great for the fall, for the winter, for the cold months, and that's a great thing in Ayurveda to begin to rejuvenate that body too. It also kind of calms the body. A nice warm cup of tea on the couch, that can be an amazing thing. So those are big recommendations that I make. Those are 10 simple ones. But if you use those 10, they go a long way. I could give you the nitty gritty for this and for that, but by substituting those main things, juice and cereal at breakfast, your sandwich or pizza at lunch, getting rid of that cookie or muffin or bar, an unhealthy bar like what I don't want to name companies, bars in the afternoon, substitute it with a healthy whole food bar. Take out the coffee, use a green tea instead or an herbal tea mid-afternoon. Then for dinner, instead of doing takeout, try to do some healthy meal delivery or make your own dinner. Really simple, easy to make, done in under 40 minutes maximum. And then after dinner, what can you do? Well, a little bit of dark chocolate or your favorite substitute. I would love for people to share theirs on Instagram, just at my name, Stephen Cabral, under today's post. Or you can also do that nice herbal tea or the golden milk before bed. Still make it an hour to an hour and a half before bed. You're going to really keep that stomach empty going to bed so you can enjoy a nice long fast. Hopefully today's show was helpful. As always, I'd love to hear from you over at cabralsupportgroup.com and on Instagram, just my name, Stephen Cabral. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. And if you could share this show with anyone you believe it could serve, that would be amazing. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.